How's it going, YouTube? My name is Sherbert, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking to you about the update to hit the Super People Final Beta early last night on August 25th. Now, this is a really nice update to get. This is a breath of fresh air, knowing that Super People is, actively looking at the player base, looking at the, how they can improve, how they can change things that have been a concern for the player base. And they've kind of touched on a lot of it. Do I think this is like a one-fix-all update? No. Do I think this update is substantial enough to change some things? Not really, but it is a step in the right direction. And it is important to know that Super People is actively making steps to kind of right the ship in terms of, time to kill, in terms of ice storm damage, in terms of tournament style play, class balancing. So it is really, really important to know that they are, working in the right direction, so to speak. So it is nice to see. It is also nice to see that they're making these updates during a final beta that is going to end in 5 days. So even though we only have about 5 more days of playing, it is nice to see that, we can end on a good note. So right over here in the update, we're just going to go through the meat and potatoes. It's a really small update, but the things that are in it are rather important. So starting off right here, it says the driver class will be temporarily restricted starting from the 9th Super Tournament. As a result of the solo mode tournament held on the SEA server, data has confirmed that the driver selection rate was significantly higher than expected, which, should not surprise anybody. The driver class is incredibly favored in terms of safe rotation, in terms of transportation of your team, moving from cover to cover. It makes perfect sense that driver would be highly picked in a game mode where placement really matters, right? If you place top 10, you get paid. So it would it's a no-brainer, right? That people would want a safe driver to kind of go from cover to cover to make the placement to get paid. So driver will be restricted. And it says, since all server modes will be changed starting on the 11th Super Tournament, the driver class will be restricted from the tournament. So no more driver, and it looks until the 11th Super Tournament, which should be in, 3 days, 2 days? It says a more detailed tournament mode schedule will be revealed through a separate notice. So we are going to get an additional update, an additional notice starting soon. I really hope that they're also be like, hey, listen, we're also extending the beta, but that's just me grasping at straws. Below that is going to show you the time in which the update took place. So like I said, it happened at 1:30 Pacific Standard Time. Now down below that is going to show us some content and balance changes to certain classes. Now Strikeforce did receive a little bit of a nerf this update. It says that they modified the rapid fire performance of SMG guns, which could have been used by excessively increasing the DPS. So they're kind of balancing the time to kill in this update, and it looked like Strikeforce's rapid fire SMG was more favorable in terms of melting people. So they are giving it a little bit of a nerf in order just to kind of balance everything. It doesn't look like they changed anything on level 1. So it was 5%. It's still 5%. Level 2, it was 10%, is now 7%. And then level 3, it was 15%. It is now 10%. So he is receiving a little bit of a nerf. Do I still think he's a great character? Absolutely. Do I still think he's going to melt? Absolutely. Do I think he's going to be a little bit more balanced? Yeah, I definitely do. I mean, barrel stuffing with an Uzi, he's kind of nutty, man. He's hardcore. So, I like Strikeforce. I thought he was good where he's at. I'm okay with this nerf. That's perfectly fine. Driver right here, they did nerf a little bit. It says overall performance has been changed to allow them for a more strategic use of the monster truck. It says even if you use the ultimate skill and summon a monster truck again, the same monster truck you previously summoned will appear. And it says the cooldown, which was 120 seconds, is now 180 seconds. That's a rather substantial nerf. So it is an extra 60-second timer on that driver cooldown, which is perfectly fine. Slight reduction of the monster truck HP. Fuel consumption was 0.15, is now 0.6. And the tire HP was 300 HP, is now 180. So a lot of changes to the driver, to the monster truck, which is perfectly fine. That monster truck was literally driving around like a tank. Pretty crazy. It says steering and driving the monster truck will now become more difficult depending on the location of the destroyed tire. So it seems like aiming for the tires is the play in regards to dealing with the monster truck, in regards to dealing with the driver. It is going to have that lower HP health, and it is going to be substantially more difficult once you destroy those tires. So aim for the wheels. Driver receiving a rather substantial nerf. I think he's perfectly fine. I think Driver is already really strong as is, so this should balance him pretty well. Now, Titan did receive a little bit of a change as well. In my opinion, I think Titan needs a lot more changes in order to be viable. I feel like as the class is as a whole, he's so rarely picked. His ultimate is very useful at times. I don't know. I just feel whenever I play him, I feel a little off. You know, I feel like he needs a little bit of something needs to change with him. I just feel like not a lot of people pick him. You know, in casuals, nobody plays him. Competitive play, I hardly see any Titans. So I think Titan needs a little bit more loving in terms of just one perk being altered, right? So, but it does look like they enhanced the pump shotgun. And it says, as the shotgun's default effective range increases, the associated skills performance change. So for level 1, it says plus 50% effective range of the R870 and 1887. It says plus 15%. And then they do it again, plus 75%, and then plus 100%. So he does get an enhanced pump shotgun range and performance skill change. So is it enough to kind of like make people want to play Titan? No, I mean, not really. The shotguns as a whole are more of a early to mid range or mid game gun anyway. So I don't know. I feel like he needs a little bit more work. It's in the works. You know, he's the newest class. After that, it says weapon balance changes. It says increased the effective range of shotguns by 30%. Perfectly fine with that. I would like to see shotguns being a little bit more balanced. I'd like to see them being a little more utilized in mid to late game. So that is a nice change. Then down below that, it says TTK balance changes, time to kill. And it says, in order to solve the issue of short TTKs at the beginning of the match, the damage reduction effect of common grade helmets and armor has been modified from 20% to now 30%. So what does this mean? This means that the common white armor that you pick up is going to, you know, have a little bit more damage reduction of 30%. So it is going to keep you alive for just a little bit longer. Is it enough to kind of like notice a drastic change? We don't know. I mean, we'll see. Really interested to see how this balance to the time to kill is going to affect gameplay. And it does say damage reduction of the PPSH 41, Uzi Pro, and MP5 SD SMGs of uncommon, advanced, rare, and heroic grades. So SMGs are going to do a little bit less damage. We don't know how much damage of a reduction we're going to get, but it does look like they're no longer going to be like as melty. I mean, we don't know. They don't give us an actual number. So I'd be curious to see how they feel come, you know, today till the end of the final beta, which is rather interesting. Now here's the part where I'm both excited and also kind of bummed about. So anybody who's played Super People or anybody who's seen like, you know, tournament style play knows that the Ice Storm just is the wimpiest thing in Super People. Nobody ever, it needs to do way more damage. And it does look like they buffed it just a hair. So it says the following balance changes will be applied in normal battles, excluding tournaments. So phase 1, what used to do 0.4 now does 0.5. Phase 2 is 0.6, or was 0.6, now is 1, which is rather good. Phase 3 was 1, now 2. And then it kind of just balances up just a little bit more up all the way until phase 8, which does 30. In my opinion, it needs more, right? Phase 1 should be 1. You know, this should be buffier. Should do a lot more damage, should make players really question, you know, whether or not they should rotate soon or where they should drop depending on where the circle is. You know, if they're going to be stuck in Storm, there should be repercussions and things like that. So in my opinion, the Ice Storm needs to be way more buffed. Because during the Super Tournament qualifier stages, the Ice Storm damage amount will be applied randomly before patch version. After patch version, however, only the empowered Ice Storm damage after patch version will be applied during the group stages and finals. So, you know, qualifying is going to see a buff of the Ice Storm as well. I would like to see this much more as also, which I think is interesting too. So it says modify the size and changing speed of the play zone according to each phase in the tournament mode. Modified the probability so that the location of the last Ice Storm, both in normal battles and tournaments, appear in the center. So that's really interesting too, that we're going to know that, you know, during the last location where the circle is going to end on. That's rather cool. This is modified the list of bonus items that players can receive when opening their personal supply for a free personal supply ticket. Okay, interesting. Because I know sometimes you would open it up and you get like a gold pill, you get a white pill, you get like a bajillion attachments. It is interesting to see that they're going to modify that. And that's a rather good one. And then down below, they're just going to finish it off with bug fixes. Fixed an issue where Shock and Master occasionally jumped abnormally high when using super jump skill. This happened to our buddy yesterday, Orange Slice. He jumped like the moon and it took him like 30 seconds to land. Fixed an issue that made the game crash unexpectedly. Fixed an issue that made the personal supply icon disappear from the map. That's been pretty frequent. Fixed an issue where the specialized weapon skill wouldn't be applied when obtaining a weapon upgrade from the personal supply. That one's interesting. Fixed an issue where players occasionally got off the wrong direction after getting from a vehicle. Oh, that's super interesting. I didn't even know that. And then lastly, fixed an issue that the vehicle got summoned back to original location when driver used smart key to summon a vehicle. Oh, okay. So small little fixes here. Again, this is the start to what I think is going to be something really good. They are addressing a lot of concerns that I feel like the player base had. The ice storm should do more damage. The time to kill should be adjusted. A driver's a little OP. So they are taking steps in the right direction. Is it, like, oh my gosh, here's that one update, we're done, everything's saved? No, not yet. But, there is substantial evidence to show that we are going in the right direction to have a very nice and healthy game from here on out. So that is the update as of August 25th. I'd love to hear what you guys think about this update. I'd love to get you guys' opinion. If there's any videos you guys want me to make, be sure to put them in the comment section down below. Also, I stream right here on YouTube, so be sure to come in, say hi. I'll be streaming all day today, and let me know what you guys think about the update. But that's it for this one, August 25th. I'll catch you guys later. All right, bye.